Hello, this is Terry, and it is Wednesday. And congratulations, first of all, you made it through the middle of the week. So, first of all, congratulations. And it's Progress Checkpoint Wednesday, and this is the way that you'll bridge to your Friday finish. Now, you made it to the midpoint of the week, and hopefully not by accident. You got here with intention, with effort, and with a willingness to keep moving forward, even if Monday and Tuesday did not go exactly as planned. That matters. Too many people drift into the middle of the week without ever stopping to ask whether they are actually making progress. But if you are here reading this or seeing this video, thinking about your week and choosing to evaluate it, that already says something positive about you. Now, Wednesday is not just another work day. For the business-minded person, it should be a built-in checkpoint. It's the bridge between how the week started and how the week will end. It is the perfect time to pause, measure, adjust, and refocus before Friday arrives. As I like to call it, this is Progress Checkpoint Wednesday, bridge to your Friday finish. Now, here are two success-minded thoughts that I think fit Wednesday well for the business person. What gets measured gets improved. And that's by Peter Drucker. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And that's Robert Collier. So those two ideas come together beautifully on Wednesday. You measure where you are, and then you improve it through smart, consistent action. Why Wednesday matters so much? The first thing Wednesday should be used for is a midweek checkpoint. Now, Wednesday is the day to look back at Monday and Tuesday and ask some honest questions. What got done? What got delayed? Are my actions still lining up with my weekly goals? Now, that kind of review is not negative. It is a sign that you are behind. Oh, pardon me, it is not a sign that you are behind. It is a sign that you are leading yourself and your business instead of just reacting to your week or letting your business control you. You are master of your business. Your business isn't master over you. Understand, too, that this information and implementation is not only for today, but my hope is that you will do this, or most of it, every Wednesday in your business going forward. So certainly tweak things as a bit to work for you, as to what you do, what you even... I'm sorry I'm doing this. I'm reading this small text. But let me try that again. Certainly tweak things a bit to work for you and what you do. But even then, I would stay as close to this format that I'm giving you, that I'm sharing, as possible, as close as possible for several weeks until you are experienced with it enough to really make intelligent decisions and changes. Now let's start by looking back at Monday and Tuesday. A, ask yourself what got done. Now this is where you identify what actually moved forward, and here are three things to review. 1. Which priorities were completed or meaningfully advanced? Did you finish that proposal, return that call, send invoices, follow up with leads, or complete the project milestone? And this is just a quick little check off. Don't debate it or deliberate on it so much. You either did it or you didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the second one, which task produced real results? Not all busyness is progress. Which actions led to a sale, an appointment, a solution, a cleaner system, or stronger communication? 3. Which habits helped the week start strong? Now, did you begin on time? Did you communicate clearly? Did you stay focused and follow through on your most important actions? Did you prioritize those and do them in priority, in order of priority? Did you begin on time? Did you communicate clearly, stay focused, and follow through on your most important actions? Those are all four big questions. Now, here's one way to determine where you stand. Compare what has been completed to the top 3 outcomes that you wanted for the week by this Friday. Close new business, for example, by Friday. I want to secure 2 new client appointments, send 3 proposals, and close 1 new sale. So you're creating actual specific goals. This helps the business owner compare completed activity against actual growth goals and not just busyness. improve cash flow. Example, by Friday, I want all outstanding invoices sent, 5 overdue accounts followed up on, and this week's deposits reviewed. This is a strong outcome for owners focused on keeping money moving properly through the business. Here's one, strengthen customer relationships. Example, by Friday, I want to personally follow up with 10 past customers, resolve 2 service issues, and ask 3 happy customers for referrals or testimonials. This keeps attention on retention and relationship building, not just new sales. Are you seeing a pattern here? By Friday, by Friday, by Friday. Okay, here's one. Get a project across the finish line. Example, by Friday, I want the website update finished, the new marketing flyer approved, and the staff training outline completed. This works well when the week is centered on execution and completion. Create a better team alignment. For example, by Friday, I want job responsibilities clarified, next week's schedule finalized, and each employee clear on their top priorities. This is especially useful for a small business owner with a few employees. And this next one is a good example for a business owner trying to create future business, not just manage today's workload. This example, by Friday, I want to reconnect with 8 warm leads, schedule 3 discovery calls, and add 5 new prospects to my contact list. Here are 5 ways to improve or build on what we've got done. 1, double down on what is clearly working. 2, repeat the actions that produced momentum. 3, move completed items into a simple wins list so that you can stay encouraged. 4, identify whether any finished task naturally leads to the next step. And 5, use your progress to build confidence for Thursday and Friday. B, ask yourself what got delayed. Every business has things that get pushed. The problem is not always the delay itself. The problem is leaving it undefined and unaddressed. Here are 3 things to review. Which high-value task got postponed? Did the client follow up? Bookkeeping, staff communication, scheduling, or marketing get bumped down the list? Why they got delayed? Was it poor planning, interruptions, uncertainty, lack of information, too many priorities, or procrastination? 3, the delay is now affecting, whether the delay is now affecting something else. One thing touches another thing in our business, right? So has one unfinished item started to create new problems such as confusion, missed deadlines, cash flow slowdowns, or customer dissatisfaction? A lot of things to think about. But again, as I say, for my clients, I have an actual checklist that we go through. And as you return to this video or wherever you're getting this, and just come back again because I will eventually provide different checklists that are free at no cost. But at this point, you can slow this video down or look at the transcript and write out certain things that are helpful for your business. So here's one way to determine where you stand. Ask which delayed item would hurt your Friday the most if it stays unfinished through Thursday. Here are 5 ways to fix it and put it back on course. 1, reclassify delayed task by urgency and value. 2, put one delayed priority into a specific Thursday time block. When you block things out, they get done, I believe. 3, break a large task into one smaller action that you can complete quickly. 4, remove or postpone lower value activities that are crowding it out. And 5, delegate part of the task if someone else can do it competently. I could see it. Okay, and I can read it too. And here's C. Ask whether your actions are still lining up with your weekly goals. Now, this may be the most important question of all. A person can be busy all week and still be off course. Here are 3 things to review. 1, whether your calendar reflects your goals. Now, if growth is the goal, you would spend time on growth activities. Did you spend enough time on growth activities? If service is the goal, did your time support service? And if revenue is the goal, did your action support revenue? So we have goals and we ask if they actually, our action supported what we wanted, right? Now, if I know this isn't rocket science, unless of course you're selling rockets. That's what I put in here when I was creating this. Now, number two, whether you are reacting more than leading. So have Monday and Tuesday been driven by emergencies, distractions, and interruptions instead of priorities? If so, address those, but write them down so that you can not repeat them or guard against them in the future. Three, whether your energy is going where it matters most. Are you putting your best effort into the task that create the biggest long-term value? Wow. Even if you're doing something really, really small, like even just a small eBay business, are you are you selling the biggest things, the more expensive things that you can make a bigger profit on, or are you spending time with little things? Maybe bundle those things into one package and sell it that way. Whatever it is. I mean, that's just a very, very small thing. But think of something on the other hand, are we putting our best effort into the tasks that create the biggest long-term value or even short-term value? So one way to determine where you stand with letter C here is take your top weekly goal and ask whether the last 2 days show visible evidence that you truly worked toward it. Here are 5 ways to fix misalignment. 1, rewrite your top 3 priorities for the rest of the week. 2, cancel, cut back, or reschedule low-impact tasks. Don't worry about them. They'll get done down the road if they're that important. 3, rebuild Thursday around your most important objective for this week. 4, tell a team member or an accountability partner what must get done next. And 5, stop chasing every urgent looking distraction that is not truly important. Okay, we're chasing shiny objects or even just things that are happening in our business. So all of this may seem like a lot of work, and maybe it is, but I will share that after my coaching and consulting clients have done this for a few weeks, the business ducks become easier to get them in a row and on track for a great arrival to and through Friday Success Depot. And usually with just a little tweaking and maybe some quacking, seeming almost automatic. So again, if after you've done this for a while, you get it under your belt, it works. Then of course, you're always going to have some distractions. You're able to deal with them, you move on. Now, this is not about beating yourself up. And I think I'm missing one of my sheets here. So anyway, I'll get back here. But once I finish this, so again, this isn't about beating yourself up. So let me say it clearly. Progress Checkpoint Wednesday is not about criticism. It is not about guilt. It is not about replaying your mistakes and getting discouraged. It is about making smart adjustments before the week gets away from you. There is a huge difference between condemnation and correction. Now, that's worth a replay, so let's do it again. There's a huge difference between condemnation and correction. Condemnation drains you. Correction helps you. Wednesday should be a correction point, not a shame point. A strong business person understands this. You do not ignore what is off track, but you also do not punish yourself for being human. Instead, you make an adjustment while there is still time to benefit from it. Hey, you should be in business to have fun. Now, someone told me that if it isn't fun, don't do it. Now, I understand that not all parts of our business is going to be fun all of the time, but the parts that are should be enough to offset the bad parts. So how does this apply to the 3 different business types? Well, first of all, for the solopreneur, if you are a solopreneur, everything tends to land on your shoulders. You are the marketer, you're the salesperson, you're the operator, you're the bookkeeper, and sometimes the customer service department too. So for the solo entrepreneur, the solopreneur, this means that Wednesday is essential. And common Monday and Tuesday issues, well, you spent too much time serving and not enough time selling. You handled urgent tasks, but you ignored follow-up. You stayed busy, but avoided the one task that would grow the business. How to correct it on your own? Well, let's choose one revenue-producing task for Thursday morning. 2, set a timer and work in focused blocks without distractions. 3, handle follow-ups before noon. 4, simplify any task that you have been overthinking. 5, give yourself a realistic win list instead of an impossible one. Now, for the entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, you're usually balancing vision, opportunities, partnerships, growth, and multiple moving points. Your greatest danger is often scattered focus. And common Monday and Tuesday issues include you started too many things. You chased new ideas instead of finishing current priorities. And you were pulled into conversations and opportunities that sounded exciting, but were not timely. Now, at this point, you may be thinking, am I a solopreneur or an entrepreneur? Because a lot of these things kind of overlap. Well, maybe you are a combination of each. But anyway, this is how you need to correct what you've done in this case, if this is what's happened. 1, narrow the rest of the week to your top 1 of 3 business outcomes. 2, identify what needs your direct attention and what does not. Finish one incomplete item before starting something new, and this is something we should do not just on Wednesdays. 4, put idea capture in a notebook instead of letting every idea hijack your day. And so it should be put ideas that are captured. And I come up with so many ideas sometimes by the time I open my notebook or my message on my phone, I can't remember what it is. And I like to carry 3x5 cards in my pocket because I can just whip it out and write it down real quick. And my daughter was telling me too, though, when I open up my phone app and everything else, she said what happens to the mind is that we're being faced with all of these different options and things, and that's why we forget what we're going to write down in our little message thing. So sometimes I still think a 3x5 writing it down on a card works the best. So put your ideas captured in a notebook instead of letting every idea hijack your day. What I do is I write them on a 3x5 card and then I transfer them later. Now, number 5, reconnect your Thursday schedule to measurable goals. Now, if you're a small business owner and you have a few employees, then Wednesday becomes both a personal and leadership checkpoint. It is not just about what you did, it is also about what your team understood, executed, or even missed. Common Monday and Tuesday issues for you would include a task was assigned but not clearly explained. A customer issue still unresolved. Inventory, paperwork, communication, or scheduling is starting to slip. Here's how that you can correct it through your own effort or through delegation. 1, meet briefly with your team and clarify top priorities. Ask what is stalled and why. Reassign work if it's to the wrong person or has the wrong task. And delegate follow-up calls, order checks, paperwork, or scheduling cleanup. Also set one clear expectation for what must be complete by Thursday afternoon. Now, we're not thinking by Friday. Think about by Thursday. Now, delegation is not dumping. Good delegation means giving the right task to the right person with clear expectations, a time frame, and accountability. So this is where Wednesday becomes powerful. Small issues often look harmless early in the week, but if ignored, they grow teeth by Friday. So here are some examples of small problems and for a small business owner might discover from Monday and Tuesday, along with ways to get them back on course by Thursday. Problem 1, customer follow-ups were missed. What this can become by Friday. You could have lost trust, missed sales, or customers feeling ignored. Here's how you correct it by Thursday. Call or message the top missed contacts first. Create a simple follow-up list by priority. Delegate reminder emails or confirmation text if possible. Here's another problem. Problem 2, invoices were not sent. What this can become by Friday: cash flow delay and unnecessary financial pressure. How to correct it by Thursday: block 1 hour to send all outstanding invoices. Have an assistant gather missing billing details. Set a recurring invoicing process so it doesn't slip up again in the future. Problem 3, staff confusion is slowing work down. Well, what this can become by Friday: errors, repeated questions, wasted labor time, and frustration. Well, here's how to correct it by Thursday. Hold a quick clarity meeting. Write down who owns what for the rest of the week. And ownership is so important. Responsibility is so important. Confirm deadlines and expected outcomes in plain language. Here's a problem. Problem 4, marketing activity was ignored. Well, what this can become by Friday: and a quiet pipeline next week. Not good for next week, is it? Well, here's how to correct it by Thursday. Send one email campaign. Post one useful social media update. Reach out personally to referral partners or warm leads. And 5, a project is moving but too slowly. This is what it can become by Friday: another unfinished week and a growing backlog. Here's how to correct it by tomorrow, Thursday. Identify the bottleneck, create the project into smaller action steps, delegate a piece of it, or remove a lower priority task from your schedule. Would you like one more? I've got one more. Problem 6, too much time was spent reacting. What this can become by Friday: exhaustion without progress. How to correct it by Thursday. Start the day with a top 3 priorities list. Do not check messages first thing if they pull you off course. And protect at least one uninterrupted block for meaningful work. Now, Wednesday is your chance to recover the week, and that's why we're here today. So one of the best things about Wednesday is that it still leaves room. You still have time to recover, you still have time to improve, and you still have time to finish stronger than you were when you started. So that's what Wednesday is all about, and it should never be wasted. Monday starts the race, Tuesday builds momentum, and Wednesday checks the direction. The following Wednesday, Thursday, sharpens the execution, and Friday finishes with intention. So, and following Wednesday, if I can read what I wrote here, and following Wednesday, Thursday sharpens the execution, and Friday finishes with intention. Now, if Wednesday is used well, Friday becomes far more productive and far less stressful. So I'm going to leave you with this. Progress Checkpoint Wednesday is your bridge to a stronger Friday finish. Now, it is the day to review what has gotten done, what's gotten delayed, and whether your actions are still aligned with your weekly goals. It is not about beating yourself up. It is about making smart adjustments while there's still time. And whether you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, or a small business owner with employees, Wednesday gives you a valuable opportunity to reset, refocus, correct on small problems, and move the week back into the right direction. Take this checkpoint seriously. Look at the facts, make the necessary adjustments, delegate where it's needed, and tighten up anything that slipped. When you do that, you will give yourself the best possible path to a successful Friday finish. And remember this: if you make mistakes, or if everything doesn't go exactly as you had intended, give yourself some grace. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. And use this Wednesday to do what you can do with what you have in front of you today. Great advice, huh? So in the Wednesdays ahead, I will continue building on what we've started here. Last week we had the main overview of basically the Wednesdays for this particular course and this session that I've got going here, these series of videos and chapters. But every Wednesday, next week, I'm going to build on what it is that we've already done. So as you develop your own Progress Checkpoint Wednesday routine, shape it in a way that works best for you and your business. Just be sure to stay mindful and consistent. After a few weeks, take another look and see whether there are elements that you did not put into practice right away and that now probably makes more sense to implement. So that's how strong habits are built. And that is how better weeks begin to create better results. And then join me again tomorrow for Thursday's Business Focus, and then Friday's Finishing Strategy with yours truly, Terry Scott, America's #1 business resource consultant, where you and I keep building stronger weeks, better habits, and more intentional business success. So again, thank you for being here. If you like it, be sure to subscribe and follow and all that good stuff. I may have a couple of links underneath here, this video, to give you some other information that could be helpful for you and your business. Remember to thank one of your employees today and do something great for somebody outside of your business and make it a great day. Bye for now.